Hi guys, Mike from Inside Bowling here, and for years I've been wanting to partner with a coach to be able to bring you tips and tricks on how to improve your game. I've got Team USA coach and the all-time leader at the Open Championships and Average, Mike Shady, with me today, and we're excited to bring you coaching on this channel. It's awesome to have you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. I'm excited to be here. It's the greatest thing a coach can do is to give back and help bowlers, and that's what I plan on doing. There's three main components every week. Our session, it's going to be know it. We're going to break it down so they can learn it. Then do it. Let's do it and apply it so they can actually put it into their game. And the last one's live it. Let's make it part of their game as they go out and compete.
And the very first thing we're going to get into is something Mike's really familiar with, which is the Open Championships. Mike's going to give you his top 5 tips that prepares him for the Open Championships.
I'm excited. You know, I've been doing this for over 20 years and had lots of success. And I want to share those 5 secret ingredients, how our bowler can go out and have a lot of success at nationals.
So here we go. Get ready, folks. Here's Mike's 5 tips for the Open Championships.
The first thing I want to talk about is the physical component of getting prepared for the USBC National Championships. I believe it's the #1 priority and the primary concern all bowlers should have when preparing for the USBC National Championships. You need to be physically sharp. It's a very demanding lane condition out at nationals. And physically, you've got to be able to repeat so you know whether it's you or the lane when it's time to make a move. I want to go through some progression drills that I do each and every time out in practice that gets me sharp for the yearly USBC Nationals. First one I want to show you is the one-step drill. Now, the basis behind this one-step drill is I use it for getting my hand in the right position. The key for me every year is make sure my bowling ball reads the pattern instead of me trying to manipulate the pattern with my hand. So my hand's got to be soft. And then after this one step, I'm going to show you a 3-step drill. All that is a progression drill. Again, I'm working on my swing, making sure my swing is extremely relaxed, making sure my hand's in a strong spot at the bottom, and most importantly, is the hand soft as I exit the bowling ball with my hand. And then I'm going to go from a 1-step, a 3-step, and then I'm going to start bowling. You don't need to practice for a long period of time. My practice sessions, due to my limited time I get a chance to prepare physically, I practice maybe 30 minutes a day. So 1 step, 3 steps, and then we're going to start making full shots. Again, with a focus point being on my swing, my hand in a strong position, and being real soft at the bottom. Get the ball to read the pattern. Don't manipulate the pattern with your hand. The next important component I want to talk about is the mindset, the mental game. 2 key areas I really strive in practice is one is my pre-shot routine. I want to do the same thing over and over again. I want to make sure that I've got good self-talk, I've got a good routine before I step up on the approach, and I'm always breathing. The second is the post-shot routine. When I'm practicing making my first full shots, I'm posting, I'm reading the ball, collecting information, and then on the way back, I'm using my release system to get rid of that shot and stay present. The USBCs, you must bowl 1 shot at a time. You've got to be a 1-shot warrior. You've got to stay present. By releasing a previous shot, it creates that environment to stay present. So the third component I want to talk about is building a bowling ball arsenal to give you the best opportunity to succeed at the USBC Nationals. First ball I always use is an asymmetrical ball that has surface that comes off the end of the pattern very smooth. That first game and team event is very, very difficult, and you want a ball that rolls that's very smooth and archy at the back of the lane. The next transition ball, the sequencing I use, is either a symmetric ball, either it's dull, it's got some surface, or a shiny ball, depending on what the volume is. But I'm going to go to one of these 2 balls as my sequence ball and use it probably 80% of the time for the remainder of the tournament. Now, as we get to minors, they really start to dry out and transition in, and I'll go to another pearlized symmetric ball that allows me to get inside and get the ball down the lane. It gives me the highest margin of error to get to the 1-3 pocket. And I always take a plastic ball. Some of you are going to take a urethane ball, but I always suggest this for your spares. This 5-ball arsenal gives me the best opportunity to score the highest at nationals. The next component to be successful at nationals is you've got to become an elite spare shooter. It doesn't matter what system you use, hook it, go straight. Make sure that your goal is always over 90% in converting your spares. You should not miss more than one spare per event. Ideally, one spare for the entire tournament. Make sure you work on your spares before you get out there and you feel confident and you have an elite spare shooting. If you're struggling, make sure you use straight is great as a technique. Work on your spare system, become an elite spare shooter, and you will have success at the USBC Nationals. The last component, the final component, is the game plan. Extremely important. Have a plan before you arrive at the Nationals. First thing I do is I communicate with my teammates. We have lane play plans. We have all different type of plans set in order as a team. Really important. So communicate with your team and then pay attention to the environments, what's going on. How's the scoring environment? Where are they playing? The pattern they're putting out. Pay attention. There's many resources that you can take advantage of there. And then once you get out there, bowl some of the side events. You know, there's team events you can bowl and try to get acquainted to the environments that they put out. There's a BJ, many different events they put out. Take advantage of that so you can, again, work on your game, get more relaxed, more sharp. And then the last thing is know your sequencing. I know my bowling ball sequencing is part of my game plan. So when I'm bowling team, doubles, singles, when I see something and I know it's time to change, I know the plan, so there's no guesswork. Most importantly, go out and have a blast. It is the greatest tournament in the sport of bowling today.
Wow, Mike, thanks for sharing those awesome tips with us today.
Well, the 5 tips are powerful. You know, we're going to break them, and we did in those 3 areas. Know it. We taught them the theory, and hopefully they learned it. Number 2 is do it. Take what we talked about, apply to your game, and then live it. Take it to the 2020 USBC Nationals, and let's see what happens to your score.
Absolutely. I'm going to take those tips. I'm going to apply them to my game. You should apply them to yours. And if you do that, you're going to achieve the best scores you ever had at the Open Championships.